Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. We are the Yeet and No Yeet of Wrestling Podcast, the Yes and No of Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Joe, as always, here to bring you another week of wrestling content coverage. It's easy this week, though, because we already did Monday after Mania. Now we're doing NXT after Mania and Friday after Mania, which surprisingly enough isn't all enough stuff to just put into one episode to do on its own, which is good. So, before we get started, as always, I like to try to remind you guys before every episode, you can go down to the show notes down below. You can see this timestamps. You can go ahead to the certain points of certain coverage of certain things in wrestling. You can go ahead and skip ahead so you don't have to watch or guess in the episode where you need to be. While you're down there, you can hit the like button. You can comment to get interactive about some wrestling stuff. You can, do all the fun stuff. Subscribe, it's free. Share out to a wrestling fan or family member in your life. I appreciate it. That being said, unlike all the rest of the shows, we'll start with NXT Tuesday this week, which was just an overall fun show. Let's just say that, right? One, it's great to see Liv and Raquel on anything. And I guess it's just like what women's titles are due now. You get the titles, then you need to make the runs at all three shows. No, you're not going to defend on a PLE. You're just going to keep doing title defenses on all three shows, which is better than nothing, you know? I mean, I'd rather have them do all three shows or a few show title defenses than anything else. And I'm hearing a lot of Liv and Raquel slander. Not happy that they retained, not happy that they got the titles back. I'm like, they're the number one women tag team of all time. Put some respect on their name. That being said, going against Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, the NXT women's division stacked, so anything you put them up against in the regular division is incredible. Great tests for future call-ups. That being said, come on, we knew who was going to win this match. No way random Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan put together team was going to take away from this, but a great match nonetheless. Always like seeing Tatum Paxley more than I like seeing Gigi Dolan. Think she's a little bit better, but hey, that's just my bias. That's just me. Maybe that's just me, but for me, Gigi Dolan, not as good as Tatum Paxley. There was a big surprise for Tuesday, but I just want to say I'm just not feeling Dark State. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't quite understand what their motive is, what they're trying to do. I think everybody likes Suga. Everybody likes that guy. I like the one guy's when he was the nerdy gamer, nerdy whatever that he was before. I like that one better than what he is now. They're all great. They're all really, really good in the ring. But I mean, it just seems like such a weird mishmash thing that I don't. Maybe again, maybe it's got to cook more. But so far, I'm just like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Something big will happen, I'm sure. Thea Hail got a good win against what's her name? What is her name? Fallon Henley, which is great. Whatever this push is, random push for Thea Hail is, commentators bringing up how, well, I guess it's, good that she left Chase U, that Chase U fell apart because now she's like on a winning streak. I'm like, true, minus the ladder match, true. But, yeah, I mean, this is just one of those things where I'm like, if you're going to push Thea Hail, do it right and get an actual push in, because you're going to lose interest if you continue to push her in these miniature ways. No pun intended towards your size, Thea. And then you're going to end up losing interest by if you have her lose another title match or a number one contender match or whatever it may be. But she's the face, man. She's the face. She's your baby face. You can make her whatever, but she's your baby face. There was multiple surprises. I forgot, actually. Supernova number 11, Noam Dar, made his comeback. Even bigger pop than I thought it would. It's true what they say in wrestling. You go away for a time. Doesn't matter what you did. When you come back, people just remember the times they had with you. And that's a real good gauge to know if you were, like, good at what you did. Because if there's a pop, even if you were a big bad guy, that's good. And that's exactly what he got. Who'd he go up against? He went up against Lexus, right? I mean, wiping off the beard, trying to wipe off the beard of Lexus King, which confirmed, it's real. I mean, Noam Dar was scrubbing. He's scrubbing with that hand. Nothing came off. But it's good that he got the heritage cut back. It just makes sense. Feels like it was never supposed to come off him, and then he got injured, and it just had to. I like him better with this shorter hair too. Very Will Ospreay like. Very Will Ospreay. Um, and then we got the prodigy Roxanne Perez versus Stephanie Valkyrie. Beautiful, beautiful, and Stephanie now like looking over to book before she does the move now and everything. And she did 10 I think this time, just crazy. Felt like at one point Roxanne was like, okay, that's too much. But Roxanne, it's like they need her for these types of matches, for these types of like high value stars they have, because Roxanne can work with anybody. But every time I see her, I'm like, where is she at? Where's she going? Is she going to NXT yet? What's the deal here? Or NXT? Is she going to the main roster yet? What's the deal here? Because she has these stints on the main roster. She has these matches and moments. She was in Elimination Chamber. Still not full call up yet. So I'm sure it's coming, but I'm just curious. And losing to Stephanie in a regular like one-on-one match is totally fine. Does nothing bad to her stock, but just makes me wonder where she's going in the future, when we all know it should be a call up soon. And then, of course, the biggest moment of NXT this passing Tuesday. Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. It's interesting because everybody wants Trick versus Oba 1v1, and that's the whole point of like Trick's promo. I don't care that I lost. I don't care. I still haven't gotten a 1v1 versus Oba. I keep getting screwed out of my opportunities. I keep getting put into these matches where Oba doesn't have to pin me. It's bullshit. And I'm like, well, first of all, in the matches, Oba schools you all day, all night in those matches. So it is what it is. But let's talk about it, as you would say. They're having their moment. And exactly when you think that you're going to get the one-on-one, and everybody's like, okay, if we're going to do this, that's fine. It's kind of like, Rock Roman at this point. We're like, okay, if we're going to do it, then let's do it now. And then something else happens to gain the interest more, where we're like, okay. But it's kind of funny in this situation because you're like, okay, no more triple threats, no more games, 1v1, the aura match that we wanted. And then Joe Hendry's music hits, and then everybody's like, oh, but wait a minute. But wait. And of course, we know this is going to turn into a triple threat because what happens? Joe Hendry comes out and he's like, nah. Step to the back trick, okay? You lost already a bunch of times. And then, Oba hits Joe Hendry with the, you don't want what Moose got. You don't want that. And then Joe Hendry's like, oh, I think I do. I think I do want that. And they want to have another title versus title match, which is crazy. Or probably just for like one title, whatever it may be. And then of course, now they're like little broing Trick. It's interesting, and it's a funny thing to do because it's like if they end up making this another triple threat match, it's just so interesting for Oba because Oba's undefeated in triple threat and like multi-man matches, and Trick continues to get put into triple threat matches that he doesn't want. So I don't know how much longer you can do that and make it funny. Right now it's like hilarious because of if it happens again, you're like, whoa. But if you do it any more past this, it'd be kind of crazy. But it is interesting to see which way they go with it. Right now it's looking like, at face value, it's Joe Hendry versus Oba most likely at the next PLE, whatever it may be. But who knows? Trick wasn't happy. He was left off to the barricades, and he went backstage through such a fit that he cut a camera cord. He messed up one of the cameras. They had to post the rest of the thing online, and I'm like, somebody must have gone on Trick's ass afterwards and been like, yo, great acting. Watch what you're doing. Like, have some fucking frame of reference of where you're throwing things and what you're lifting up. And that would bring NXT to a close for the week. Incredible build. NXT week by week, especially before and after Stand and Deliver, they continue showing out. And before I move on to SmackDown, I just want to point out that on TNA this past week, the Hardys and the Nemeth brothers did a awesome, I guess you would say, it's like a vignette, but it's like a match kind of, where the Nemeth brothers stole the tag team titles from the Hardys at the Hardys compound. Very interesting. They filmed it like a movie type thing. It was so interesting, so cool. I've watched it a couple times already. Man, and honestly, Ryan Nemeth is a really good actor. I don't know about wrestler. He seems okay. Seems pretty good. But his acting was incredible, especially in this role that he plays. My big brother. Okay. SmackDown. SmackDown after Mania. All right. We open the show. Who's going to open the show? Come on. Come on. Who's going to open the show? John Cena. John Cena opens the show immediately on his bullshit, right? Immediately on his nobody's better than me. Immediately like on his I'm that last champion type shit. He gets the announcer again. He's like, you said my shit wrong again. Come up here and say it. I'm the last greatest champion all time. I'm the GOAT. Say it. Fucking say it. Before John could say anything, boom. I hear voices in my head. And Randy comes down, slow swagger, just looks better than him. Just standing side by side, entrance, everything. I'm better than you. You look at it and you go, how did you end up being the face when Randy Orton's this damn good? And honestly, Randy could take that whole record John just got, this whole big thing. Randy could take that. He could wrestle for another 5 years. And in those 5 years, he could win enough titles to break that record. Better watch yourself, John. I'm just saying. Randy comes out, and honestly, Randy lost me immediately. He's like, you know what? You need to be a dad, John. He hit him with this, like, you need to go on vacation type thing. And I'm like, I guess. You need to be a dad. It changes people. I'm like, dude, what? John hit him with the same thing I would have said. I was like, fuck you talking about? What are you saying to me? No. Uh, and it was just weird for that reason. He started to lose me, but I understood what he was doing. He just meant that, like, John's got to do something to change. He needs to change. He can change. And that's Randy's advice, you know. John goes on to counter that to say, I've raised all these people's kids. I've raised you guys growing up. I don't need a kid. I raised all of you. And Randy trying to do this all meant something to you. I know it did. John's like, I mean, Randy, you're trying to get through a brick wall, which is full circle in the promo. It's exactly what Randy realizes. Randy has a moment where it's also kind of a little mirror type thing where it's like, you see in Randy, like, this is also fake by Randy. Randy don't care. Why would Randy really care? And he breaks immediately to go, like, because if you really cared, you would have been like, John, this hurts me, this disappoints me, yada yada, and you would keep. But instead, Randy snaps and he's like, I knew it. I knew it'd be pointless to come out here and talk to you about any of this shit. I thought I would try, and it was pointless. And which, as from a character perspective, I think a lot of people can resonate with. Like that feeling, that like what Randy felt in that moment. Because John was just staring at him, and every time Randy would finish, he'd be like, you guys are all pieces of shit. And Randy would be like, what? Even starts yelling at some little kid who's flicking him off, makes fun of the dad who looks like Jack Black, gets the whole crowd to stand up, and they're like, is that Jack Black? I mean, John was cooking the crowd, but not cooking Randy. John goes on to put the final dagger in and say, I've already won 17. You've won 15. I think Randy's at 14 or 15. I don't remember. It's one of the two. And it's going to take you forever to get it. And don't worry, you will. But it'll be the new toy title with some new toy company. And I'm taking wrestling and your family's history with me. And Randy lost it. And Randy, of course, that's when we get the inevitable matchup that we knew we were going to get, which was Randy, John, advertised as one last time. Backlash in St. Louis, Randy's hometown. Crazy build for something that Randy's most likely going to lose. But it is awesome. It is great for those who are watching the Randy Cena over and over and over again, up to the point of Randy and Cena versus the entire Raw locker room. Like, I'm sure this means the world to you, and this is going to be incredible for people who haven't seen that, and for people who haven't, to see these two dudes not necessarily in their prime, but in their old prime. Like, they're old, but they can, like, they're really good at their age. And old to stretch, by the way. But yeah, that's what we get. We get a little altercation between them. John tries to use the title. I do like the whole, throwing the title up and hitting Randy and then trying to use the title, but that's where you went wrong because RKO out of nowhere. And Randy's slick with it still, too. Just crouches over real quick. Boom. Over. Done. Slick. I mean, we saw John get dropped a bunch of times going up into Mania, and it just meant that John was going to win. So, well, we shall see. Before we talk about the debuts and returns, let's talk about Jacob Fatu. Let's talk about Jacob Fatu. Let's talk about what he's doing, where it's going. And where it's going is sky high. Him and Solo come out there, and Solo's like, this is all because of me. I did this. I brought Jacob here. I gave him to you guys. I'm the one who set this all up. And Solo's like, or Jacob's like, no. Takes the mic, cuts a fucking regular Jacob promo, and now he's got the crowd saying it. He's got the crowd saying, you better get in where you fit in. Like, he's got everybody saying it. Like, it's great. And he just lets Solo know. It's a simple promo to let everybody know, I don't need any of you. I'm the best. And Jacob coming out, I like this. My mom's asked a question. Jacob came out wearing the title around his neck. They're like, why is he wearing the title around his neck like that? And I was like, probably just because he wants to. I was like, he used to wear his title like that in MLW, but I was like, also because he's got to make room for all the other titles he's going to be wearing, because no motherfucker wears a title like that unless they're wearing multiple motherfucking titles, and that's what Jacob Fatu is going to be doing. He's going to be wearing all the gold all the time. He's going to just have it draped on him just like this, and it's going to be crazy. So he's practicing with that one. He's like, I'll put this one on, see how it looks around my neck. And it looked dope. It looked cool as shit. And at the end of his promo, LA Knight, then the music cuts for LA Knight. He comes out, nada. I want my match. I want all this stuff. Gives Jacob Fatu his flowers as you beat me fair and square right there in the ring. No big deal. Which I found weird. I was like, what is even, you got beat like bad. He tries to make some points like, I still said I'd give you a BFT, and I gave you one off that top rope. And I'm like, okay, but you still lost though. So I don't know. It was gonna turn, and then the most random music hits, and it was Drew. And immediately I'm like, why is Drew coming out? And immediately after that, I was like, oh, who cares? It doesn't matter. I just realized that Jacob Fatu and LA Knight are both in the ring. It doesn't matter why Drew's coming out. This is going to be fire. This is going to be good. So Drew's coming out. Him and LA Knight are already throwing jabs at each other. LA Knight's laid up on the ropes. And I'm thinking, no matter what happens here, Drew and Jacob is what I want to see. And that's what Drew wanted. He's like, I want to fight you, Jacob. I want you. LA Knight's giving him shit. And this turns into what would be a number one contender match between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, which is dope. And boy, was I pissed until I realized what could happen. And what will likely happen is, because of what happened, which is great match between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre, like genuinely one of their best matches against each other. I think it's only like the second time they've gone against each other though, or maybe the first time one-on-one. Either way, of course, again, kind of random but makes sense. Damian Priest interferes, and I'm like, come on, man, another DQ finish, another interference finish. That's bullshit, man. And that kind of bummed me out until I realized, wait a minute, fatal 4-way with these guys? Okay, now I'm back on board. And that's the kind of open-minded thinking you have to have when watching wrestling. When you hate something, you have to think about what can be the product coming afterwards. And that's going to be sick. That will actually be cool as fuck. And that's what Drew wants. Everybody knows. Drew wants a title, sure. He wants to be top guy in the company, but always have to remember, top guy in the company doesn't just mean like titles. It also means like top money marquee matches that you're putting on. And Drew will go down in history at a higher level than most of these guys for that reason. Like he'll be up there with Roman, Cody, and everybody, even if he doesn't have the same title, tenure that they do. That being said, I wanted to talk about that first, but of course, let's talk about the call-up, Fraxiom Fraxiom on Smackdown now, officially Smackdown tag team against Delgado. And perfect team for them to go up against to showcase the high pace. And I was just talking about this to myself earlier. I was like, it's not the high flying stuff that impresses them. It's a little bit of the high pace action. It's definitely a lot of that, I think. It's how fast they run, but also how coordinated they are as a tag team. They genuinely are the only tag team we have that are like that, because we have tag teams that can do stuff together. Sure, we have tag teams that are like genuine tag teams that have their own moves and everything, but Motor City Machine Guns were the first ones that we have that were like fast, high-paced action on main roster that did like multiple super fast tag team moves and like knew each other inside and out. But we've had that the whole time just on NXT with Fraxiom. These guys are legit. They're so good, and their genuine like character blends well. Axiom's ability to speak fluently and clearly through that mask gives his mystique that much more. His voice is very interesting. Nathan Frazier's attitude and weird their miscommunication, but it always works out because they're amigos. It's great. It's great. And so if people on SmackDown don't know, they definitely know now, because like I said, that's what makes them a great combination. They genuinely don't need to talk well or anything. They have moves and matches that impress everybody and makes everybody go, who was that tag team? The dudes who came out looking like superheroes. Those guys. Yeah, them. But they're pretty good at segments. They're pretty good at vignettes. They're pretty good at it on the mic. Win-win. My favorite return, which came off of like a double weird like interference thing. Tiffany comes out, starts cutting her promo. Everybody's happy. It's Tiffy time. We're shitting on Charlotte. We're having a great time. Jade Cargill comes out. And again, one of those, okay. I would watch this. But then just the reason meant nothing. You haven't beaten the best. I'm like, well, even though I wouldn't agree that Charlotte's the best, by wrestling WWE standards, she's better than you, but maybe not in wrestling ability or capability or anything. No, like Jade's probably 10 times better, but like, what are we talking about here? It was just a weird thing to come at Tiffany with, because I'm like, Tiffany's like, but I am in fact the best. I'm the champion. Remember, I'm the champ. And they had a pretty good match. It was good. Probably would have been again a great if it had an actual finish, but I was thinking again, when you start looking at wrestling in certain terms, when you go, wait a minute, 2 top stars, random singles match on a SmackDown after Mania, this is for something else. These two aren't taking a pinfall loss. And we were right. Naomi comes out with caution, and we should have known, because the moment Jade said when she came out, all that stuff with Naomi is done. I was like, sounds like it's not done. And that's kind of an issue with Mania sometimes, is you have these things at Mania where these things are supposed to be definitive ends to stories, and then sometimes they're not. So no definitive end. But I was saying anyway, I was like, Bianca's gone on injury, I think, something. And this just, I knew that they had to do more with Naomi, Jade, and Bianca anyway. So that's going to continue more. And just when you think, wow, well, that meant nothing. Wow! Naomi comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of Tiffy, and I was so happy. I'm so happy that Nia Jax is back, and I'm so like, it was so funny immediately with the doing things that make me laugh. She's trying to get the crowd to do one more time. They love Tiffany Stratton. They do not want you to do anything to her any more times. So she's like, yeah, guys, one more time. And they're not doing it. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Suck it. Like, this is the underratedness that people don't understand. When people see that, especially, no offense, ladies, but when you see that and you go, oh, I don't like that, I'm like, that means you're just here for like Rhea and everybody. You're not here for real wrestling. You're not here for entertainment. You're not here for anything. You're here for Rhea and Liv, which I can't blame you for. I mean, I get it. I understand. But Nia Jax is wrestling. She is part of what is wrestling. Her improv, her ability to improve in the ring. Everybody and anybody still to this day who's trying with that shit with like, oh, she hurts people. She hasn't hurt anybody in a long time. She's overtly safe nowadays, if anything. It's insane. So get over it. Nia's back. And sure, the immediate title picture is kind of weird, but we'll take it. We'll take it as long as she doesn't go away again afterwards. That's all I care about. And now she's back without Candice LeRae, so this is different and better. Let's get to the last two talking points I have for right now for SmackDown, which are a combined thing. We had one more comeback. We had Allistair Black. Allistair Black is now back in WWE on SmackDown. Same entrance that he used to have. Same look, and he's even kayfabe selling something that I didn't even know about. The eye, I guess he had a match where he got the eye on the stairs, and he's kayfabe selling that still, which is great. That's incredible. And it didn't too much when he came out, hit the entrance, and it was clearly enough for everybody. It was enough for people who didn't know him. It was enough for people who knew him from AEW, and it was more than enough. So I've seen for people who were fans of him in WWE because the entrance alone. And I think Triple H knew that. I think everybody knew that. They're like, you just go out there and hit that same entrance, people are going to lose their mind. And they did. He goes out there. The Miz was cutting a promo before, and kind of poor Miz, but at the same time not. Like, that's what Miz does now, and he seems fine with it to an extent. And it is what it is. Aleister Black comes out there, does the kick on him, sits back down, calls it a day. Awesome. Who knows what we get from this? Who cares? We've all wanted this, and now we have it. And it ties into, we got if you checked your socials on Friday, you got to see Nick Aldis making announcements and then making a phone call to Chelsea and talking about a slogan or a quote he's seeing on the wall, and how much it makes him think of Chelsea. Wake up, something about ask yourself, what can I do to be better today? And in Chelsea's like, well, of course it made you think of me. I'm the best and I'm better every day. And it's so great because it was sad though, because you're like, Chelsea, I know you're losing tonight, because we all knew what was happening. She got set up into a United States title match against Zelina Vega, and Zelina Vega finally gets her first singles title in WWE. You deserve it. You deserve it. The crowd doesn't deserve you, because I know a lot of the crowd was just like not as hyped as maybe they should have been. Maybe it's just the area, but man, it's a long time coming. And even if it means it's a back and forth between her and Chelsea or whatever the case may be, it's awesome. It truly is incredible. When Zelina came back, even with the bad music, I don't know what this news stuff is where you come back with bad music and you get a title. Kind of bums me out. But either way, I'm just seeing past the music at this point, because I'm happy Zelina has a title, and I hope they actually do something with her, just like they've been letting Chelsea do something with it. Chelsea's done an incredible run with that title and made it fun, if anything. I wouldn't say made it like prestigious, but definitely made it an interesting title to defend. I think she's done better than Lyra with her IC title run so far. So we'll see what this is the first official new second title, second person to hold the women's U.S. title, and we're still on the first women's IC title holder, which it's looking like it's probably going to be the second one's either going to be Bayley or Becky. Who knows? I'm hoping Bayley though. Just because I want Bayley to get all the titles as well. So that was the news for everything that happened in SmackDown, I do believe, except for the one match that should have been on Mania. It's what we're talking. It's what it's going to go down in history as the match that should have been on Mania. We got the New Day versus War Raiders, which was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Sure, it's great to see the New Day win new titles again with their heel persona and do the whole run up the ramp like Seth Rollins in the heist, but it paled in comparison to what this match obviously was going to be. And I agree. I think the only thing that you look to is going, this will upstage too many matches on WrestleMania and be too much. And you're like, okay, cool. So whatever, I guess. The triple threat tag team TLC title match between the Street Profits, the title holders, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY. First of all, Tommaso Ciampa, you got to give some people some heads up when you shave your beard like that. That was wild. Like, all of a sudden, you just didn't have a beard. And I got used to it pretty quickly. And it matches Tommaso Ciampa. He's had the no beard before. It's like, okay, all right. Just really threw me off. Honestly started to like it as the match went on. The match I mean, down in history, and so many O2 things, and some spots I wanted to point out, such as like Johnny Gargano and I think it was Ciampa or whoever it was, and they set up two chairs, with the seats against each other, so that way they can put somebody through the chair's seats. And then Johnny's like, wait, flip around, top part, hard part of the chair together. So now they're gonna go down on both of these, which would suck. And Johnny ended up taking that bump, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that had to have been Johnny's idea. And then when they said no, Johnny was like, oh, it's okay, I'll do it. I'll take the bump. And it looked like it went fine, but it made me think of, when I watched Maven and Taker talk to each other, and that chair spot that they did, where Taker put the chair to Maven's throat, and they threw him down to the floor. And how Maven and Taker both were like, Taker was like, and you didn't feel anything. And Maven was like, nope, didn't feel anything. I felt fine. But you look at it now, even knowing that they're fine. It looks like Maven's fucking whole jaw just got shattered. Like, it looks crazy. Why not do stuff like that? Like, I don't understand why we have to, like, let's put two chairs together, make them the hardest piece. Let's wrap barbed wire around them and I'm like, you can get the same thing from just a little bit less. You can get the same reaction. I digress. The Montez, everybody's talking about Montez as far as multiple spots, and of course the prosthetic leg, which I didn't even realize. I'm hoping that fan wasn't a plant, but it seems like he definitely was. If nothing else, he's a fan who came and like maybe they like talked to him or something like that. I'm not too sure, but apparently Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, their famous match, which happened just days before this, in like that in their year, in what are we in, April, and they had a prosthetic leg which Scott Hall tried to use but failed. But Montez uses the prosthetic leg and tosses back, and the guy catches it. It worked even better than you could have imagined. It was sick. The ladder, the spot where Ciampa hits the white noise through the ladder. That was probably the toughest bump I saw. That one even worse than the Gargano on the chairs back to back. That shit was tough. And of course, Dawkins hitting the spear up top. They said, okay, let's pay homage to Jeff Hardy Edge, where Edge spears Jeff Hardy off the title belts as he's holding them, and Tommaso Ciampa's up there, and Dawkins is like, okay, here we go, and you're like, how are they gonna? This is the moment. Oh my God, there's tables beneath them, and Dawkins spears him, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting there going, Dawkins, you just had a kid, my guy, like, yo, spears him onto the tables. Montez Ford pulls down the titles, retain the championships. Street Profits still WWE Tag Team Champions, and it was incredible. It was beautiful. And the only thing I want to talk about before I go is Killer Cross. The return of official Killer Cross is awesome, and all these people wondering, is this kayfabe? These promos he's cutting, talking shit. This is Triple H's guy. When Karrion's been going through all these small like low points, if this was anybody else, look at Baron Corbin. Look at the people who have been cut recently. A lot of them people who have been like literally in the middle of programs or just got out of a big one. Karrion Kross has been doing nothing for so long sometimes. Like, he's obviously been very active and incredible to the point where people are pointing out all the nuanced stuff he's doing and the little hints he's dropping with all the things he does with the hair and all the people who have turned heel since they talked. It's incredible. But if you're not paying attention to that and you just think he's been doing nothing, then yeah, look at the times he's done nothing. And understand that he still has a job and still kept his job because he's Triple H's guy. Remember how he got on? That was Triple H getting on the phone saying, he didn't ask his name or anything. He said, is this Killer Cross? He's a fan of Karrion. He's a fan of Killer Cross. Karrion's not going anywhere. And I can guarantee you that if Karrion's doing this, it's a genuine thing that him and Paul have talked about. And Paul's probably like, you should use this. You should use this to help your angle. This would be great. And it is great. And I hope, and it just seems like more people are understanding and catching on to what this is, and they're now like, okay, I think I understand. And even if you don't fully understand, you're seeing the stuff. You can't hide it. It's on the internet. You're seeing what he's done, and you're like, okay, this guy's good. Still to this day, my only gripe is that damn fucking finisher. But other than that, Killer Cross is on the loose. He's officially Killer Cross again, so watch the fuck out. And you watch the fuck out for our next episode. I appreciate you guys, as always. For anybody who likes, comments, subscribes, checks it out, shares to a family, wrestling fan or family member in your life. And we will see you next time with some more Wrestle Talk. Bye, guys.